Is everyone ready? It will shake a little. Couldn't you tell us a bit sooner? Come on, you guys battle in mechs. I don't think the little shaking is that big of a deal. Magically know how to use big machines. Well, Doc is a genius, and also they fight in mechs. It's not that far-fetched. This thing looks sweet. Look at all those propellers. Shaking has subsided. We should be in good shape for now. Yeah, this is the song that I know from the game. Bro, what are we gonna do now? Go to Ave as planned? Yeah. Faye. What happened, Doc? That's unfortunate. It's him. Faye, where are you going? I'm going out with the gear. Faye! Now's not the time for a date. Master? Even Ellie. Great evil theme. Graf? The Goliath wasn't built for you to use. You must remain on this land a little longer. I can't allow you to leave. Ow. Okay. We'll just watch, I guess. We'll just watch him annihilate us. So he's not even using his gear, it's just chilling there. Whack. He doesn't look behind him. We can't even, like, do combos because he's just a dude. Yet he's overpowering us. Yeah, what a great visual, like, storytelling through battle this is. How Graf can just beat us up without his gear. And it's like an interesting... It strangely screws with the mechanics of the game, too. Because, like I said, I can't even do combos. Because I'm supposed to just pretty much one-shot human enemies. Pretty epic song, too. Uh-oh. Holy... Okay. Why does he keep looking behind him? Did I win? Oh my god, I won. So you can now draw upon more of your power. If that's the case, then. Faye, hold on tightly now. Huh? Probably should have stayed in your gear. We win. I'm slipping. Ah, look out! Master Satan, it's alright to throw the black creep of Bro and Master Rico as well? If it is them, they are okay. Never mind that, Hammer. Go to that trigger. Trigger? You mean this? What do I do with... You must fire. Look, it is coming. They're here! Just runs around. Hammer, calm down and concentrate. It is heading straight at us. All you have to do is aim well, pull the trigger, and fire. Aiming? Like this? Good, keep it there and do not move your aim. Get ready to fire in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire! Oh, yeah! Master Sir, did you see my mad skills? I just might be a genius. What? By the way, what's up with Bro and the gang? You don't think they fell off? Well, at least you still got me. You should be a piece of cake with me around, right, Master Sir? Wow, he just throws, he's like, well, oh well, we still got me. Smack. What would we do without Hammer? Just threw us under the bus immediately. Well, we lost Faye, Satan, and Rico. No big deal. Aw, Master Rico, please don't be mad. It was just a joke. Master Rico, it's because of you I am what I am. Come on. Shut up. Yikes! That person wasn't aiming for me. Why? Doc, I don't know how to say this, but I've got a bad feeling. Are you thinking of that man in black? Thinking about him will not get you anywhere. First of all, it is not like you. It's not that. It's not like... It's like this feeling of uneasiness that I've had before. You too? Well, to tell the truth, I am getting a terrible feeling of deja vu. And I feel like we're being watched. I think it's because we're being watched. Bingo, our information was correct. It's Kislev's. It's huge. It appears to be, That's it, the Goliath. The one from the underground factory we've heard so much about. Crap, they're taking revenge. Bet they're going to bomb Bledovik. Oh my god, it's the boys. Either way, no need to let him go so fast, right? Gunner! Gungani, no, Bart missile, fueling. It'll take 15 seconds from opening the hatch to engage the illuminator. Franz! I don't hear anything other than the surface wind waves in our engine. Threat is minimal from looking at the radar and sonar. Here we go! BatCon level 1. I feel like this was kind of a underwhelming reveal. Like, it was kind of cool how it was like in the you know, in the viewpoint, and then it came out and we realized it was him. But I feel like they could have been an even better reveal of the boys being alive. Young Master, what is happening? What was that alarm all about? Young Master, again? Battle stations, everyone. Service navigation. Close the vents. Blow the main tank. Prepare for anti-aircraft battle upon servicing. Just doesn't know when to give up. Young Master, the Gungani missiles. Need permission for more than half of the crew members to... Service combat. Stand by with the anti-aircraft guns. Gunner, give me the trigger for the BART missiles. Yeah, I get that, but like, I don't know. I was kind of on edge as to whether or not these guys were alive or not. So I would have rathered a emotional reveal rather than a comedic one. But it's kind of funny that it's like the same exact scene, but now they're in the water. What's wrong? Oh, it's nothing. Okay, I'm glad. Anyway, Satan, is it okay? We're flying in such a large ship. What if Kislev or Abe finds us? We are fine. I thought ahead and picked a course over the sea. There are not any military units stationed out here. Even then, this thing is not something that will go down so easily. And we're dead. This cannot be right. Are we being attacked? Enemies? I do not know, but I did not think they would be submerged here. Are we okay? Unfortunately, there is no way we can avoid descending. Faye, Ellie, get out first. I will follow later. But we have no time for a debate now, Faye. Do you think you have the skills needed to keep the Goliath in the air as long as possible? No. Then hurry up and get out. Now then. And you too, Hammer. You're going too. Yes, sir. Quit dawdling, we're going. Yes, sir. Oh, Rico cares about Hammer. Now, where did they... That ship. Sigurd. I think you need to rethink your method of discipling. Or disciplining. So wait, one shot just set the whole dang thing on fire? I thought this was like the god ship. Rahaha, that's the power of the BART missile. Even Kislev's prototype can't stand up to it. That's true, it was the BART missile. Hey. Stay back. Keep away! Nothing can withstand the power of the BART missile. Oh. I think we all just died. Game over. We have the coordinates of those recent dimensional vibrations. N24, E92, Ignis, and the Lahan region, the Northeast Ocean. From the wave pattern, it's definitely a gatekeeper. There are no regular mainland flights. Could it be Shavat's Eiffel Aura? No, the mass is different. It's a much smaller pattern. I can't believe that the Lambs have a ship equipped with a gatekeeper. It probably is Kislev's. The last purge was not complete. Dang you. Shouldn't you pursue? What? The one who caused you so much pain and grief is on that ship. And it's headed for... Akavi? Put all the crew members on emergency alert. We're attacking the Kislev ship. We can't, Commander. We don't have orders from the capital yet. If we move from here... I don't care. I won't allow them to escape. She just leaves. I believe I already said your tricks will do you no good. I'm just trying to help. Didn't I help get those shackles off? Now, you know the vessel will only respond to the chosen one. They don't know this, but he's necessary for Carr. He's the very meaning of Carr's existence. Yes, I must thank you. After all, you did help me, didn't you? Was it for me, or for him, or for yourself? Yang is such an interesting character. Yeah, I feel like the villains really act like villains in this game. They like never get along, and they're always double-crossing each other and everything. Like, it's very believable. They're not like, you know, because sometimes, for better or for worse, villains will kind of work together more than perhaps they should, you know? Like, they'll just be like, oh, we're both trying to end the world? Alright, let's end the world together. Like, usually villains are very, you know, it's almost impossible for villains to work together. And you definitely see it here. Then you see a lot of just, like, power-hungry idiots and stuff, too. And they act the way you would expect them to act. We will take the boundary between gates 1 and 2. It's the shortest way to Akabi. Fine. Message from Kelvana. Dominia is withdrawing in Haishao. She will pursue the aerial battleship. Well, it's not aerial anymore. Man, feels like everything's coming together. Disobedience. Ramses's orders are to excavate the anima relics in Ignis, and to watch over the lambs. What is he? We can recover the anima relics anytime. Moreover, we learned that he was on the transferred ship. Ramses was probably after him. So it was the trauma. Nay, in this case... Okay, how in the world do I say this name? Is it the K that's silent or the N that's silent? I'm just going to go with Kegret, since the alternative's kind of yikes. It was the severe external wounds. Knight plus Egret. Yeah, bit yikes. I think we'll just call him Kegret. According to the memory cube, we found multiple subjects around him that possess the animus factor. Is it Safradi, the subject of the M project? What is this, Final Fantasy VII? Yes. Coincidence? Nay, it is beyond that. They were either attracted to him, or unexpectedly it's developing into the same condition as 500 years ago. That does not rule out the possibility he planned it this way intentionally. The transfer point is Aquavi. It's near the Thames. If it is the Aquavi, Krelian's headed that way. Krelian? Himself? What for? It seems they've found it. For over 4,000 years, he searched for Zeboam's legacy. Legacy? Is that the technology he was talking about? Yes. Molecular engineering, nanotechnology, the land of all creations, the capital of Zeboam culture, resting beneath the ocean of Aquavi. For 19 years, the ethos kept it secret. Is this acceptable, Kane? Yes, it will do for now. 19 years, that coincides with the time when the Earth shifted. Indeed. But I don't understand, that technology doesn't seem that crucial to us. He is still a lamb, giving him the ability to do as he wishes is questionable. There are times when even we do not know what he is thinking. Let it be, I will take responsibility for that. On another matter, weren't you all going to eliminate it? It's just by chance. It is probable the location is Ignis. Anyway, I never believed it would be eliminated so easily. The purge was a failure. This shall never happen again. If the Animists are together, it is all the more reason. Yes. Cain, why are you so concerned about it? To us, he is insignificant. It could only be a poison to us. It could never be a remedy. A no-nelb? You don't still believe that, do you? That is merely an illusion, not even an ideal. The result is what I am now. It is as you see it. Or rather, it is the emotion you have long forgotten. Cain, we are gods. What in the world is going on? Oog. Aliens. Ancient aliens. Or am I? I was with Faye, heading for the rear block. Faye, where are you, Faye? He's fine. Rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble. Ellie, you are awake. Am I awake? What were you doing? I was looking around inside here. There's less than 2 days worth. Of what? Food. We're lucky we even found any. But where is everyone? Are we the only survivors? We gotta do something. Guess I'll go catch some fish. Faye! They're okay. What? They're okay. Doc, Rico, Hammer, everyone. They're all going to be okay. Has Faye gone off the deep end? Hammer, Rico, wake up! Where are we? What is this place? Something smells. We are inside the ship of Bart and his crew. They rescued us after we were shot down in the Goliath. Did everyone not explode? Who the heck are Bart and his crew? Let us say they are bandits robbing Abe. Bart is their leader, though he is still a young man. A robber in this day and age? A man with an attitude. I like it. Do you want to start off by going to meet Bart? You read my mind. Shouldn't there be like a... Shouldn't he have said like, he's our friend? Or like, he's on our side? Because if I were Rico, I'd be like, oh, so they had abducted us. I'm staying here. I'm very confused. Nice camera. I like the part where I can see anything. Oh, Dr. Izuki. I'm sorry to put you out so much. We should have stopped the young master. I am terribly sorry. My chronic lumbago has gotten worse since I hustled in Abe. I don't know if sorry suffices. Shooting down our entire ship. Then again, it wasn't really your fault, but... Like, our bad. Almost killed you. Man, this game is wild. It really never... I mean... Maybe we're finally almost to the point where we kind of get to a standard RPG cycle, but like, this game never, first of all, the story never lets off the gas, but second of all, like, the gameplay loop never hits like your typical RPG of like, we're on the world map, but we gotta go to this town, and then we gotta figure out what to do in the town and then move on to the next town, or like, you know, moving from place to place on the world map and like going towards a goal, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just always, we're always like forced to have a specific party and do a specific thing, and we're stuck within the confines of wherever we're at, and we're just kind of going from save point to save point to see what craziness happens next. And I mean, so I mean, in a way, you could argue positively or negatively that the game is very linear. Some people put a negative connotation on linear. I think the only time that a linear RPG is negative is when, like, you expected it to not be linear. So, for example, if you have, like, Final Fantasy 12, which is super open worldy, and then Final Fantasy 13 is super linear, then people complain because the last game was more open, you know. But for a game like this that was just a one-off, at least when it came out, you know, I didn't go into it expecting to be... yeah, that's true. I should make that point, is that linear and on rails is different. The game isn't linear in the sense that, like, you can only do one thing, but it is, like, very on rails. Like, you can never really go off the rails. When you hit the world map, you can explore a little bit, but there's really nothing to do, at least not from what I've seen. But yeah, linear has a more negative connotation of, like, you can't go find stuff, where, like, you can in this game. You can go around, talk to NPCs, you can explore villages, you can explore the world map. The dungeons are very non-linear in that you can find treasure and go off the beaten path and stuff, but like, the game's on rails. Like, you're always in this certain box that you're stuck in. So, you know, but yeah, I should make that clarification. But no, I think for a game that's a one-off and there's nothing before it, being on rails is not necessarily a bad thing at all. It makes the game a lot more interesting, and you're constantly engaged. And with a story like this, it's got to keep you engaged. I feel like if we went too far, if they opened it up to, like, the world map, and we were just able to just explore and go to towns and screw around, I feel like it wouldn't connect as well with the story. That feels very, like, urgent, you know? So I have no problem with it being on rails, but I figured I'd mention it because it is pretty wild. I can't say I expected it to be this on rails, to the point where, like, we really have not been able to explore at all a single time. Like, and I may have missed stuff also, but I don't think there's been, like, a get to the world map and then there's some, like, little side dungeon I can go do or something, or, like, side area I can explore. Probably the most exploratory thing I could do is going to that one town early, but there was, like, nothing to do there. So it's just interesting. A lot of PS1 RPGs were more open, in a sense, to help with playtime, you know? If you just rush through a PS1 RPG, a lot of times it's only 9 or 10 hours. But because there's so many other things to go and do and explore and stuff, it makes the game a lot longer. But here, the whole game has been on rails pretty much, and we're still, you know, 24 hours in, and we're still on disc 1. So it's just, like, so impressive. The game is so massive, like, story-wise. It's just, like, crazy impressive. And the fact that the whole translation was done by, like, one guy, and it's this massive, it's just, like, pretty wild. Right, that's the thing. Like, it's got a story to tell, and it wants to tell the story, and that's why it's on rails. So that's a very good reason to be on rails. And like I said, being on rails isn't a bad thing at all. It's just, you know, interesting to mention because when the game started, like the very first thing we did when the game started was we had our starting village, and it didn't really tell us what to do. It just kind of let us explore the starting village. And then we walked out and we were immediately on the world map. And so that gave me like the impression that it was going to be a more open standard PS1 RPG. But ever since then, the world map has been like basically just a hallway to the next city, you know? So it's just kind of interesting. Like I definitely felt like it was going to be more open at the start, and ever since then it's just been like get to the next save point, completely on rails. So it's just interesting. Oh man, the game just also, how's it going, Skendo? I want to make sure I said hey. This game is very good. This game just oozes ambition, if nothing else. I mean, like, at the end of the day, the ambition is insane. The ambition is, like, what shows the most. And unfortunately, there's a lot of PS1 RPGs that feel that way. Feels like they could have done more. Even Final Fantasy VII feels like it could have done more in certain areas and just couldn't. But the ambition was insane. The people at Square Enix truly had the most incredible ambition at this time. And I think that's a lot of what's missing in the gaming industry today is ambition. We like to say that it's all become about money, but it's not necessarily a bad thing for them to make games for money. It's not a bad thing to make a game that's profitable so you can make a lot of money so you can make better games. But the issue is that the money has replaced the ambition. You know, it's the money isn't the issue, it's the fact that the ambition isn't there. And for some games it is, for sure. You feel it with Remake, you feel it with games like Persona, and you feel it with games like, you know, name a good game in the past decade, but then there's games like Call of Duty, and even some of the RPGs that we know and love have fallen to the point where they got to make the bag more than they have to. Then they have the real ambition to make a project. And maybe part of it is that gaming creation is just different. I've thought a bit about how, like, making games back then was such a task. They had to create their own engine, and, like, so much work was put into making the game look the way it does that I feel like you had to have an insane amount of ambition to even create a game, you know? And nowadays it's a lot easier, and there's a lot more money in this space, and there's a lot more, the companies are much bigger, and the people are much more experienced, and so it's just less of a task to make a video game. Now, like, is that to say they don't work as much? No, like, games are bigger and therefore take more time and more effort to create, but, like, I think nowadays game design is more of like, here's the engine, we already know how it works, we already know how to, like, get it to go, we just need to make a 500-hour project, right? Whereas here, it was like you had to put so much work in just to get it to function that you had to be super ambitious about your project if you wanted to finish it and you wanted it to stand out. And gaming was popping off so hard that, like, you really had to make your game stand out. So ambitious projects were more, probably greenlit more as well. I don't think ambitious projects are greenlit as much anymore. They save that for indie games. For big games, it's got to be something that sells well because the cost of game design is so high now that they don't want to try anything ambitious. They want to go with safe projects. And I've heard a lot about how a lot of corporate stuff right now is accepting safe stuff. It's all about being as safe as possible and, you know, making the money that needs to be made. And it's not like money didn't need to be made back then, but it was definitely different. Yeah, it was definitely different back then. I mean, you had studios like old Naughty Dog, where it was like, it was just them making their game. It wasn't any big connection to Sony or any big connection to all these huge players. Like, it was just them making their game and trying to make a profit. And there's just way too much involved now because the gaming industry's gotten too big for its own good. But yeah, regardless of what happens with this game, regardless of what happens with Disc 2, regardless of how long it is or how much content there is, the ambition shows through. And that's definitely not going to change. I give this game so much credit for being a smaller team and just being like, we want to make the biggest, most amazing video game ever. And genuinely trying their best to do it. Whether or not they succeeded in some ways and failed in other ways, you have to give them credit for the vision. Because you can just tell. It's weird. This game, like, I feel like it's never in the conversation when talking about, like, the most popular games or the best games or, like, you know, whatever. But whenever you bring it up, the fans will come out of the woodwork. And so, like, I guess it's just the impression it left on people that did play it. I think probably the issue, more than anything, is just the time it released. This was the absolute golden era of RPGs, and the golden era of, I mean, one of the golden eras of gaming in general was the PS1, late PS1, early PS2 era. Was like, gaming had hit the cultural, like the public culture scene more than it had ever had and ever would until like recent years. And so many companies were pumping out games. The PS1 architecture, like, they had been making games on the N64 and the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, these consoles that were like especially the Genesis was like, it was a good console, but it was like hobbled together to make it technically stronger than the SNES. And so it was hard to develop for, and all these older consoles were harder to develop for. And then like the PS1 comes out and it's like, we use discs. And people, like, at this time, they had started to really master how to make games on the PlayStation. And so companies were able to just pump out like a Crash Bandicoot every year and a Spyro every year. And Final Fantasy was banging on all cylinders every year. I mean, like, think about the timeline of Final Fantasy games. You know? Like, Final Fantasy was coming out yearly at that time. Which is just like insane to think about now. So like 7 came out. First of all, 6 came out in 94, right? And then 7 didn't come out until 97. So it was 3 years between 6 and 7. But then 8 came out in 99, so 2 years later. And then 9 came out in 2000, a year later. And then 10 came out in 2001. That's insane. Going from 9 to 10 in a year is absurd. But they had perfectly mastered the PlayStation, and the PlayStation 2, it was easy for them to move to the PS2. It wasn't that much different. And then, guys, that's insane. Final Fantasy XI came out in 2002. A year later, after 10, they made an MMO. That's insane. That, from 2000 to 2002, they made 9, 10, and 11. That's like, what? That is, you could never do that. It would take double that time to make a game nowadays. And they made 3 completely different games, like completely different games, on 2 different consoles. Then Final Fantasy XII came out in 06, so 4 years later. 13 comes out 3 years later. 14 comes out a year later, because they were working on 13 and 14 at the same time. And then, you know, you look at today, 15 didn't come out until 2016, and 16 didn't come out till 23. And stuff like Strangers of Paradise didn't come out till 2022. But yeah, man, how do you compete? If you're Xenogears, you know, how do you compete with 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 all coming out in like 6 years? Like, that's insane. So I think it's more of just the competition that really hurt. And it's the same company too, so. But yeah. No, I think it's just kind of weird. The game doesn't really come up in conversation much, but when it comes up, everyone's like, oh yeah. So that's why I think, more than anything, a port of this game would do so well. The fans that love it would support it and bring it to light, and then everyone that never got to play it would try it and realize how good it is. It's going to be Japan only. It's crazy how many games Square Enix wanted to make Japan only for the longest time. It took them a long time to finally get their act together and release everything everywhere. I mean, 7 was the first big game that they said they were, from the beginning, they were going to release everywhere. I wonder why they wanted Xenogears to be only Japan if 7 was planned to be everywhere. Maybe they just thought we wouldn't get it or something. Like, they just thought mech stuff wasn't popular enough here or something. Yeah, that's another thing. Wasn't released in Europe, so that hurts its survivability over the years. That hurts its legacy a bit. Whereas, like, Final Fantasy VII has such a legacy because we all got it around the same time, and the online discourse about it was always so huge because everyone knew what it was. We all got pretty much the same version of it, and, you know. Yeah, there's also that. It's got religion in it, so back then it was banned a lot of places. So that hurt it even more. And nowadays, it's just rare. So it's like all the huge renaissance of people going back and playing old games. A lot of people didn't pick this one up. So that hurts it as well. A lot of games that people didn't play back in the day, they're playing now, but this one doesn't have a port, and it's rare and it's expensive, so you don't see it as much. You know, come to think of it, the more I think about it, I think I prefer linear / on rails RPGs. Do you guys feel the same way? Or do you like, you know, basically, here's the open world, figure it out? Like, I think my perfect game is like Final Fantasy X, where it gets you into the story, it gets you into the characters, it keeps you going at a standard pace, and then at the end it opens up and says, now you can go explore, do whatever you want. The only issue with that is that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, tell me that they never finished 10. Because they're on rails, they're on rails, they're on rails, they get to the end and they finally open up, and then they want to go explore, and then they never finish the game because they're like, oh, I get to explore now, and then they just kind of get lost in the exploration and then never go and finish it. So I do think that's a bit of an issue, but for me, it's not an issue because I just finish the game and then explore. Like, I'm invested in the story enough to where I want to go see the ending. So I go and see the ending, plus I don't want to get too strong for the final boss because I like a challenge. So I always just go, beat the final boss, enjoy it, and then explore. So for me, it's never an issue, but a lot of people tell me that the way that 10 did it is a bit of an issue because they get that little taste of exploration, and then they just go crazy, and then they forget to finish the game. So I do understand that, but to me, I think that's pretty much the best way to do it. Get us invested first and then open it up. At least for me. But I also have a soft spot for that original feel of standard RPGs where it's just like this big open world and you just have to figure out where the next trigger to move the story ahead is, and you end up just kind of accidentally running into a lot of stuff that's interesting, and it really feels more like an adventure that way. So I do have a soft spot for that, but I think my favorite way of doing it is like 10 does it. Well, if it isn't Dr. Satanazuki and his very big friend. I see you've finally woken up. I am terribly sorry about what happened. Please forgive me. I have a name, It's Ricardo Banderas, but everyone calls me Rico. So what are you apologizing to us for? I suppose I'd better stop beating around the bush. I'm not usually this frank or apologetic, but, well, what he is trying to say is this. The people who shot us down and the people who saved us are one and the same, this ship's crew. You don't mean that Goliath, which we were riding in, was shot down by... Yes, you're a bit slow there, big friend. Nice apology. You're a bit slow. Actually, our Yggdrasil, the second, did a good job in shooting down the monster of an airplane. It was great. You should have seen it. Wow, my BART missiles sure were awesome. Ah, I won't forgive you so easily. This is a very odd scene. I was expecting this big moment where it was like, oh my god, you guys are alive. We thought you were dead. We didn't take advantage of our friendship while we had it. And instead it's just like goofiness. I knew it. I thought this thing was floating unusually. But even knowing that, there's no way we can get them out, right? What is Faye doing? They're right under us, but covered by water and a thick wall. It's probably Weltall and Vierge. For better or worse, they have stuck by us this far, but they're useless now at this point, though. What is she going on about? What is Sister yapping about? It appears our gears are underneath here, Faye, but we can't reach them. What are you doing, Faye? What am I doing? Can't you tell? I'm trying to catch a fish. This one's been jumping up and down right in front of me, trying to make me look like a fool. You little punk, I see you. You're not going to catch it and eat it, are you? If we don't eat, we're gonna die. Alright, I gotcha. You're joking. You'll get sick. You're not gonna eat? Let me see. We need something to cook it with. What is going on? Do we fall into the parallel dimension or something? Like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Hey, come on, stop it. I'm not gonna blame... I'm not to blame if you get sick and die. Don't worry, once it's in your stomach, it's all the same. I'm not going to... Faye, look there. What? Did the fish get away? What are you talking about? It's still there. What the... That's... That's that thing I saw in the desert. It's flying a lot higher this time. It's Shavat. That's its usual altitude. Shavat? Where have I heard? Yeah, that's right. That weird masked man. He said my father was in its military. So that saucer is what Doc and the masked man said was the country my father and mother lived in? Really? I wouldn't know. It's a country outside the reach of Solaris. Shavat uses the same kind of barrier that Solaris does, so you can't reach it by conventional means. How can something that flies that high in the sky be a country? Yes, I don't blame you for being so surprised. It usually hovers over the region known as the Akavi Islands area. You probably saw it on some sort of special mission. That's why it was flying so low. Shavat. Ouch. I guess the BART missiles weren't such a good idea, huh? We were able to save you and your friends, Satan, but I wonder what happened to Faye and Ellie. I'm sure they're alive somewhere, and once again... Man, the sea breeze stings my eye, so this is what they call the sea. First of all, I have to apologize to those two. Why is Satan, like, not worried about Faye? I'm like, I feel like we just fell into, like, the Illuminati zone. I don't know what's going on. Why? Like, if you... I don't know. I'm so lost in the sauce right now. I kind of want to just see where it goes before I say much about it. Young Master, you should apologize to the two of them. Yeah, I'm working on it. That's true. Satan doesn't show worry very often. I was gonna say, why did he just randomly drop a link? Oh, Young Master, if the Young Master doesn't come here, missile shoots Master's friend Faye, company on board. Anyway, one must apologize to Dr. Uzuki and his friend Master Rico, right? They were on their way toward the gear hangar. I don't know, it just, I couldn't control it. I couldn't control it, it just went that fast. I didn't press anything. So you're Bart, the pirate, huh? Hammer the supplier has great information for you. Shakan still controls Ave. He's planning military intervention in Nissan, but for some reason Gebler is stopping him. Oh, so you already knew that? Nice camera. This is the engine room. Work. Well, I know where the gear hanger is, but... I didn't mash anything. Should be here. Yo, RJP, thank you for the 50 months. What is this, a game for ants? This man's lost it. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's happening. Random cutscene. Okay. You know... Hey! Quit the silent treatment. I came here to apologize. What's your problem? I thought I dealt with you a while ago. I'm not the type to dwell in the past. I'm more concerned about those 2 gears there. Who the heck are you? I'm amazed you tuned them to run so well. I thought Faye and I were the only ones who could work gears that well. Wow, you really are the battling champ. Oops, I mean ex-champ. I'm amazed how you can tell how good a gear is just by looking at it. I guess you can't learn all about the world inside a dark prison. Really interesting. I was gonna move on, but now I've changed my mind. Let me join you, boss. I guess it's alright. Okay. This all feels so out of place. How do I leave? I mean, Satana's in here. This is his gear. Where's he at? I don't really know what to think of Satan because we don't know everything about him yet. I feel like we need more information on him before we can really say anything about him. Because we don't really know why he's doing what he's doing yet. So we can't really determine whether or not he's in the right or not. You know? Alright, I don't know where Stan is. I checked every gear, he's not here. Well, I mean, there was that scene with him and the aliens. So, like, yeah, he's definitely being set up as, like, he knows more than he's leading on, and He's keeping stuff secret and seeing as though we've been in life and death situations like 100 times. Keeping stuff secret is not really gonna go over well with everyone when it's revealed. How's it going, Mushroom? I'm telling you, I'm not pushing anything. See? Oh, what the heck? I don't know where he's at. Amogus. Maybe he's in like the... Isn't there like a room down here somewhere? Like one of these or something. Maybe he's on... Maybe he's on the ground floor. Maybe he's in here. Maybe I'm an ant. In here? Sounds like a very professional document. Should definitely take that word for word. You can rename it. Everybody's just saying the same thing. What about in here? Hey. Oh, young one, did you want to talk to me? About my shooting down the Goliath. I'm, really, Oh, is that it? I guess it could not be helped. But jumping the gun is your bad habit. A king should always keep calm and judge carefully. Mason says the same thing. Yeah, I know. By the way, I have something to ask you. Oh? That is unusual. Well, it's about this warship we're on, which is the same type as the Yggdrasil. Years ago, my old man told me it was scrapped because the peace talks with Kislev made progress. So I knew it existed. Then what is bothering you? The symbol on the ship, it's not our royal crest. Look at this. This is... I thought you knew it. Whose crest is it? I am not positive, but it looks like Shavat's. Shavat? What do you mean? The Yggdrasil may not have been made by your father. At that time, much of the potential technology was not understood and hence was hidden. Maybe your father might have been scared of its power and so sealed it away. I see. So this may not have been ours from the start. If so, I want to meet the guys who made this amazing baby. Actually, they may be closer to you than you suspect. Huh? What did you say? Nothing? I was just wondering if Faye and Ellie are alright. Sorry, it's my fault. No, I did not mean to. I am sure they are fine. Though there's no proof to back it up, I feel better now that you said that. Even though I know you're probably lying through your teeth to make me feel less worried.